and welcome to another Allmech video. My name is Jade Maasdorp and I'm here with Parsons, and today we're going to be showing you the Runxin F73 Duplex valve. Kyle, take it away.
All right, Jade, thank you very much. All right, so we do have the Runxin F73 Duplex here, and as you can see we have two vessels on this softener system. So this softener system is designed for a plant that requires 24-hour process water supply.
Okay.
So what this does is it allows one vessel to be in regeneration and one vessel in service at any given time.
Okay, interesting. So now I think we can head over to the setup of this valve.
All right, so just to take you through the setup of this Runxin F73 Duplex valve, again, like most Runxin, to get into the interface, up and down button in together, wait for the audible beep. All right, and now we can access our settings. Use our enter button to jump into our settings. First setting will always be the time. Use your enter button to get into there, up and down to toggle between your settings, again for the minutes, and lock it in with the enter button. Onto our next setting. This is the A01. So the A01 in particular to this valve doesn't need to be changed. This is a volumetrically controlled valve. On the previous valves, we showed you that it needs to be set to the A02 to access the volume. But on the F73 in particular, the A01 is specific to this valve. So we'll leave it there, lock it in, and move on to the next setting. All right, so on this setting, you have your volumetric reading. This is to determine how much water needs to pass through this valve before it goes into a regeneration. To access those settings, enter button to get in, up and down to toggle, and lock it in with the enter button. On to the next setting, your HU, that is for the units of this valve and the units you want to measure in. So just to run you through that, your HO1 is cubic meters, HO3 is liters, HO2 is in gallons, and for the purpose of this video we're going to lock it in on cubic meters. We run through to the next setting. This is now your first stage of your regeneration, set on 10 minutes for your backwash. We're not going to change this setting. Just to show you, you can toggle up and down, lock it in with the enter button. Onto your next setting. This is now your fast rinse, again preset on 10 minutes. We don't need to change that, but we can with the enter button toggle up and down, and we can move on to the next setting. Now you have your brine draw. This is an automatic function on your valve that draws the brine out of your brine tank, preset on 60 minutes, so we can just lock that in and move on to the next. This is your automatic brine refill on this valve, also preset to 5 minutes. You can change that. We're going to lock it in on 5 and move on to the next setting. This H setting is your override on days. So like we mentioned, this valve is a volumetrically controlled valve, but in case something goes wrong with the turbine or with your meter cable, you can set a predetermined amount of days and your valve will regenerate according to days instead of on the volume, if there is something wrong with that equipment. You can lock that in, move on to your B setting. This is your final setting in your setup, and this B setting on this valve is a BO1. We leave it on a BO1. If you do change to a BO2, that's when you will be adding auxiliary inputs onto your valve, auxiliary controls. We're not going to have any of those. Set that to a BO1, lock it in, and that is the setup of your Runxin valve.
Thank you so much for joining us on this video. As always, give this video a like if you found it helpful, and leave any questions you may have down in the comments below. Otherwise, that is all from us. See you in the next video.